Daniel Ernst, principal at Hudson Square Research. Many thanks for joining us this late hour, Daniel. I must ask you, first of all, Nintendo, how much trouble are they in?
Well, the reality is Nintendo has some of the most popular game franchises in the world. Their games sell more than Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and Halo, games that you might think are the biggest games, but actually Mario Kart and Super Mario Brothers and Zelda and Pokemon actually sell many more millions units than those games. So I think that ultimately they'll prevail. The troubles of the 3DS have been that those games haven't yet been released for the console, and that's the key driver of any platform is the content, and those games start to come out this holiday.
The share price falling in the last 3 days, in fact, and also down 80% from its high in 2007. Clearly, competition's intensifying, Facebook and, of course, Apple. How big a threat do they face for Nintendo?
Well, like I said, at the end of the day, it's the content that matters. The platform is somewhat irrelevant if there isn't content there. And so, most of the games that people have been playing on the iPhone or Android devices are these 99-cent games that can last a few minutes. And a Nintendo game with its core audience of 6 to 12-year-old boys can last all year. And so I think that's a value that a lot of parents understand, and the devices are better constructed to give to kids. So I think that their core market is still quite strong. I think a lot of the growth that they had during the peak of the game cycle for both the Wii and the DS, with what we think of as non-gamers playing the games. You might have played Tiger Woods golf, you might have picked up tennis on the Wii, and these were people who didn't historically play games. They might play a couple on the iPhone because they have an iPhone to use for work and life, but you're not going to give a $400 to $600 phone to a 6-year-old.
They've sold less than a fifth, Daniel, of their 16 million target of 3DS handhelds. They've been cutting prices. What more can they do to get this off the shelf?
Well, like I say, it's content. There's no reason to buy content. We see this in every single platform. When HDTVs launched a decade ago, the Super Bowl in the U.S. wasn't in high definition. No one bought the televisions. When Blu-ray movies launched, there was no movies in Blu-ray. No one's going to buy it. So I think that it's very premature to call the end of a device that's only been out a few months when their key firepower isn't out yet. So over the holidays, they have Mario Kart in 3D launching. They have Super Mario Brothers launching on the 3DS, and then also for the Wii, they have a new Zelda game. So I think the holidays will play a lot different story. The other thing is that video games in general are highly weighted towards the holiday quarter. For most of the industry, forget Nintendo, 90% of earnings happen in the December quarter. So, trying to call the game here, early in the innings, I think is premature.
From what you're saying, therefore, it seems that this is really more of a temporary setback for the company, not a long-term trend.
Well, I think that overall their opportunity that they tested the market and grew their opportunity with what I think of as the non-gamers, buying the devices, buying games for themselves. That opportunity, I don't think, is there anymore. So I don't think they'll ever go back to the peak that they had at the top of the Wii and the top of the DS. But where we're seeing strength in gaming is among the core gamers. And so I think that this casual gaming phenomenon, much in the same way that there was a bit of a Wii game phenomenon where everyone was buying Wiis and you had people in senior homes buying them, that has passed. But I think we'll see the same thing happen in the social and Facebook and iPhone gaming land. That people won't spend as much of their discretionary income on that habit or hobby, but the core gamer will always be there playing games.
Thanks, Daniel.
It may not be what it was in 2007, but it's still a strong market.
Daniel Ernst, thanks for your time today. Daniel Ernst from Hudson Square Research.